It is Overreaction Monday here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us as we share our thoughts on your overreactions to the Chiefs' loss to the Buffalo Bills, 30-21, the final, as the Chiefs were handed their first loss of 2024. We will wrap up Sunday's contest and tell you what we're looking ahead to for your Kansas City Chiefs coming up on today's show. Before we go any further, though, folks, let's play the blame game. Who is the most to blame for the Chiefs' loss to the Buffalo Bills? If you had to pinpoint it down to one person, who is it and why? Let us know in the comment section. Spam their name, who you think that is, and we'll get started with today's show. First up on Overreaction Monday, the Chiefs exposed. A lot of people saying that, there you have it, those are the Chiefs that we all knew were there. Ha, 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 right? That they were frauds to begin with. They were so lucky to be 7-0, all that. Total overreaction from the mainstream media to say that this Chiefs team was exposed and that they were frauds and that the Bills are without a doubt the better team in all this. It was one-off game. And you look at the way things have been going for the Kansas City Chiefs, eventually they were going to lose. Patrick Mahomes was talking in the postgame. He said, look, 17-0 would have been cool, but that's not our goal. That's not what we had in mind, was to go undefeated in the regular season here. And one of the things I pointed to yesterday in the postgame show that we talked about was that I sit here and I believe that these two teams are so tight between the Chiefs and the Bills that realistically speaking, it was going to be hard to go 2-0 between these two teams in the regular season and the postseason, to expect to win both contests. If there's going to be one, assuming that they meet again in the playoffs, that you were to lose, you much rather lose this one than you lose in the postseason. And the other thing, too, is losses expose your weaknesses. So although the Chiefs did lose and were handed their first loss of the season, I think this is a moment where we're not saying, hey, the Chiefs are frauds. No, we're saying that, hey, they finally have some things to address that need to be worked on, that they have things to overcome, that you're not always going to be on the lucky end of the stick sometimes. Eventually it catches up to you, and I think what we saw Sunday was that the mistakes this team made, whether it was the interceptions Mahomes threw, whether it was struggling to stop Josh Allen, get after the quarterback, not getting Travis Kelce involved, the offensive line having a bad day, those are just a few of the things. Those are things you point to now and say, we have work to do and go from here. So the Chiefs aren't frauds like what some people would like you to think, but they have some glaring needs that they need to address going forward, and I think that's a fair thing to say about this Chiefs team right now. I still believe this is the team to beat in the AFC. What do you guys think? Are the Chiefs the team to beat, or is it somebody else like Buffalo now? Weigh in the comments section, our pinned comment today. Let us know why for yes, in for no, if you believe the Chiefs are still the team to beat or not. We are bringing you up-to-the-minute Kansas City Chiefs coverage like no one else is here on the Chiefs Report with our daily news and rumors. Sometimes bring you 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows every Tuesday, including tomorrow afternoon here on the channel, as well as watch parties on game days, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. We are closing in on 62,000 subscribers of the channel, but we need your help to get there. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for the latest happenings on your favorite team all season long right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Up next, let's talk about the offensive line. And the Chiefs gave up a total of 4 sacks on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. And it felt like this is finally caught up to this Chiefs team. They've done enough to get by throughout the last several weeks when it came to the offensive line, but it's a glaring problem now. And Sunday showed us that it was too much to overcome, that they couldn't escape their troubles with that offensive line, with the 4 sacks that they gave up this past Sunday, or 2 sacks, rather, that they gave up this past Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. And Mahomes under duress all day long. He was hit a total of 4 times, 4 QB6, 2 sacks allowed. But with that said, you look at the numbers. PFF put their grades out, and Wanya had an overall grade of a 63.4, pass block grade of 72.9, and a run block grade of 63.1. And we saw a little bit of Mike Calindo out there, just 4 total snaps. His grades, he had a 71.0 overall grade, a 90.1 pass block grade, and a 46.5 run block grade. And we didn't see Kingsley at all yesterday. But with that all said, I think when it comes to Donovan Smith, and there's been a lot of rumblings about Donovan Smith potentially making a return to Kansas City, I sit here and I say to myself, why not? Why the hell not would you not want to bring back Donovan Smith at this point in time? It cannot hurt you to add Donovan Smith there. Basically, you've given up on Kingsley. You've said, we can't trust him to get the job done this year. Now, that's not to say that Kingsley isn't going to develop and can't be a quality starter down the line, but he's just not there right now. And the Chiefs clearly cannot depend on him to be that guy right now. And Wanya Morris, he's had his ups and downs. He's been banged up a bit. Donovan Smith wants to be here. And he's made that known that he would love to sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. After yesterday, I don't know what you're waiting for if you're Brett Veach. I would pick up that phone right now and say, let's go ahead and get Donovan Smith here to Kansas City and try to help out this offensive line situation. Because for me, when I look at this team, when it comes to November and potentially hoisting the Lombardi Trophy once again, the biggest thing that could be holding this team back for me is the offensive line play. I think we've seen enough from the receiving core that we can feel pretty confident they can get the job done, and they're going to get Hollywood Brown back. You're going to get Isiah Pacheco back. The defense, although yesterday wasn't great, they've done their job. They're still a really good unit. That, to me, is the biggest thing. And if you can get better at your weakest position, adding Donovan Smith, I don't see why you wouldn't do so if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Should the Chiefs sign Donovan Smith? What do you guys think? Type S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in the comments section to let us know if the Chiefs should bring back Donovan Smith or not. Let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And if you go to PrizePicks.com/SaleItHas, promo code SaleItHas, they got a great deal they're offering right now, folks. They will give you $50 to spend for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. A little Monday Night Football action for you tonight. Cowboys, Texans. I think the Cowboys are going to throw the football more than people realize here, especially with the question marks in their rushing attack. Give me Cooper Rush to have more than 174.5 passing yards. Also going with C.J. Stroud to have more than 9.5 rushing yards. I think he's a better runner than people realize. If that hits and I put $20 down, that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, PrizePicks.com/SaleItHas, promo code SaleItHas. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. Next up on Overreaction Monday, a lot of you sounding off about the lack thereof of the Chiefs pass rush and the belief that this pass rush just simply stinks. And I'm here to tell you, I wouldn't go that far. I think that's an overreaction. It hasn't been great. But what I will say is there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is reason to think that things are going to get better for this group as we go on down the stretch of the 2024 campaign. Charles Omenihu is going to make his return. He had 7 sacks in 2023. I think that will improve. I think that Karlaftis, even though he didn't have a sack yesterday, he's been playing better the last few weeks. He had 3 straight games with a sack. Chris Jones is still one of the best at his position, if not the very best as well. I'd like to see more out of King Felix. I think that's a fair thing to say. Here we are, year 2 for the former first-round pick. Expectations should be pretty high for him, and he hasn't quite delivered up to what he should have at this point. We've seen the flashes, but we haven't seen the consistency. And when I look at this Chiefs defense, if they can get that pass rush to elevate just a bit, then that's going to be a huge difference for this Kansas City Chiefs team. They're already a great defense, one of, if not the best defenses in the NFL. But the pass rush is lacking, and that was on full display yesterday when they didn't get a single sack on Josh Allen. You were not going to have a chance in this game if you weren't going to get after Josh Allen and get after him effectively. Simple as that. He's too good to have a clean pocket all day long and expect to win. This pass rush has work to do. It will improve. It will get better. I like Omenihu coming back. That should help things out. But I'm not concerned where I'm sitting here saying it's time to panic for this group. Let's see how they look when Omenihu joins the fold and then go from there if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Up next, let's talk about one of the few positives from Sunday's performance, and that was Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy with one of his best games since joining the Kansas City Chiefs. And we want to see more Xavier Worthy. He is worthy, not an overreaction. I want to see Worthy used more, and he's shown that he's certainly capable, but at times the Chiefs' offense tends to get away from him. Yesterday, he finished with 4 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown, a long of 31 yards off of 5 targets. Also had a 7-yard rush as well. And you look at Xavier Worthy, all the talent is there. The speed is there. He can perform at a high level. We're not sitting here saying that he's another Sky Moore type, right? It's not a situation where he's being written off and falling down the depth chart here. He's shown that he can get the job done, unlike a Sky Moore or a Kadarius Toney of that magnitude. I would say he's even shown more than what McCole Hardman had shown at this point in his career as well. But how can he make that next step? How can he transition to look like a top-flight wide receiver in the National Football League? And I think it's pretty simple, folks. I think it's just getting him more touches, finding him in space, finding ways to get open, and getting him more involved. And it doesn't always have to be the receiving game either. Whether it's the jet sweeps, we see him in the running game, just finding the way to get the ball in his hands. He's shown that he can be very good, but they tend to get away from that. And especially on a day like yesterday, when Travis Kelce isn't doing so hot, when DeAndre Hopkins is not doing much either with just 3 catches for 29 yards, go to Xavier Worthy. You got an opportunity to stretch the field and use that speed, a speed advantage with Xavier Worthy. We know Mahomes wants to push the football down the field. Let's see some more Xavier Worthy. Let's ask you now, do you believe in Xavier Worthy? Are you all in on the Chiefs rookie receiver? Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Last, an overreaction Monday. I think that although the Chiefs' run game wasn't terrible necessarily, as they finished with 17 total carries, 78 yards, 4.6 yards on the ground, highlighted by Kareem Hunt, who had 14 carries for 60 yards and 4.3 yards on the ground with a 17-yard average. Although it wasn't bad, it wasn't great. And the Chiefs got away from the run game. And one of the things that we've seen with the Chiefs offense when it comes to Isiah Pacheco over the last couple of seasons is that Pacheco is so strong, so good, that he reinforces the need for the Chiefs to run the football. There is a confidence that I think we have seen, objectively speaking, in the Chiefs' run game that Andy Reid has in Isiah Pacheco compared to Kareem Hunt. We've seen several times this year where the Chiefs get away from the run game with Kareem Hunt. Comparably speaking, if they were in the same situation with Isiah Pacheco, they would not be getting away from said run game. And I think if you had Pacheco yesterday, you certainly would have run the ball more than 17 times, even if you were playing from behind. Even if the Bills were out playing you the way you did, I think you still would have run the football more than you had. And I think that when you bring back Pacheco, he's going to be the bell cow. Kareem Hunt's going to be the short yardage back, and it's going to make both guys better to maximize each of their capabilities for this offense to take this next step. Yesterday was not a knock on Kareem Hunt at all, but to me it was about having more options, more ways than one, and having more confidence in the run game, and that's what Isiah Pacheco is going to bring when he eventually makes his return. What's your confidence level in the Kansas City Chiefs after Week 11 with the first loss of the season? Scale it for me in the comment section. I'm still extremely confident. I'm going with a 9 right now. Give me your confidence level in the comment section below. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. As we look back on the Chiefs' 30-21 loss, we'll be live tomorrow on the channel for our weekly live show. We'll have coverage throughout the week, so stay tuned for that right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.